Today on Eagle Nation News, Julia B. Zion spotlights one of the most active members of our community, Preston Cutler. What is the motivation behind the determination?
Abigail Smith highlights the importance of school spirit not just for the team playing, but the school's morale. How can school spirit impact one's high school experience?
And finally, June Brown gives the latest on scholarship opportunities. What can students do to anticipate their financial life after high school?
All this and more today
on Eagle Nation News. Good afternoon, Eagle Nation. Today is Wednesday, January 29th. I'm Cameron Silva.
And I'm Madison Wells.
Now, serving in any of the military's 5 branches takes a great amount of work and effort.
What many people don't know is that this occupation requires perseverance not only in the program, but before one even registers. Julia B. Zion highlights one Prosper student determined to pursue this dream of many.
Preston Cutler is no stranger to Prosper High School. He's involved in student council as executive president, National Technical Honor Society as president, PHS varsity soccer, and the list goes on. But why does he do all this, you may ask?
So in the future, I hope on being in the military, and so leadership stuff I learned here, I hope to be able to use in the future.
Preston would like to pursue a career as a fighter pilot in the naval branch of the military. To do so, he must be an officer in the Navy first, which means he needs to learn how to work on a team and lead people in all different types of ways.
Soccer helps a lot. It definitely helps with the team building and learn how to be in a team environment because military is very big on that. Lots of different people want to be led different ways, so being able to adjust to those types of ways they like to be led.
I think it's his servant leadership that everybody sees. He's very interested in not only doing well, but making sure others do well. So he's always working to explain content in classrooms and on the soccer field. He's a very good servant leader.
But the journey has not always been easy.
Waking up and realizing, oh, I don't have the motivation to take on today, but knowing, okay, I will, and just having that, sometimes not motivation, but just willpower to get through the day.
I think one thing that Preston has is his grit. He's very determined and very persistent, and this has really propelled him.
Preston leaves us with these words.
If you don't have the motivation, you gotta have the dedication to keep going and keep wanting to succeed, putting in the extra work to find that success.
For Eagle Nation News, I'm Julia B. Zion. Prosper.
The Dallas-Fort Worth International Airport is beginning to screen for the infamous coronavirus, specifically for travelers coming from China. While American Airlines has the only flights from China to Dallas, the airport has stated that they are prepared to support the CDC and health departments and will coordinate with them on any health and safety procedures.
The shocking and sudden death of former basketball star Kobe Bryant has devastated the hearts of many, especially those connected through the NBA. In order to pay tribute to the now basketball legend, many associates of the league have used their influence to celebrate his life, seeing as many of the coaches have traded in their fancy shoes for signed Kobe sneakers, and the players who sported Kobe's signature jersey number have opted to trade for another, all to preserve his legacy.
Now let's send it over to Casey Boston with your fast forecast.
Thank you, Cameron. Today will be a very chilly day with the average being around 41 degrees with 15 mile-per-hour winds. The real field temperature is 31, feeling 10 degrees cooler than it really is. Today, Wednesday, and Thursday are all expected to be cloudy and cool, so make sure to bring a jacket to stay warm. Saturday, however, is the only day that looks sunny, with the next few days following looking cloudy. As of right now, we are not expecting any rain next week, just those cloudy skies. Be sure to tune in every day for more updates on the changing weather. I'm Casey Boston. Back to you guys at the desk.
With the great increase in phones, social media, and just everyday high school distractions, maintaining school spirit can be a little difficult.
Abigail Smith has more on why it is so important and necessary for school experience. Stay tuned.
Freedom of the press is a right guaranteed by the First Amendment of the United States Constitution. It is a right that guarantees that the press cannot be censored by the government or people acting on behalf of the government, allowing the press to give a voice to the voiceless and to hold those in power to account. Unfortunately, in many states, student press do not enjoy many of these same protections. In many schools in Texas, student press is subjected to prior review of all content published, which often leads to articles or news reports being censored. Some states have enacted New Voices legislation, which protects students from censorship by school administrators. However, many states, including Texas, have yet to do so. Please join us and the Student Press Law Center in celebrating the accomplishments of student journalists and continuing the fight against censorship and for New Voices legislation.
The commercial that was just played shined the spotlight on the Student Press Freedom Day. To learn more about why this day is being celebrated by journalists across the country, head to the Student Press Law Center at splc.org.
Although football season has passed, school spirit is still definitely a necessity here at PHS.
Now we send it to Abigail Smith, who has more on how much school spirit can impact and improve not only the school, but your experience.
While Prosper used to be known for its school spirit, it recently has been undeniably lacking. However, some students still stress the importance of school spirit.
Honestly, in my opinion, school spirit is the second most important thing here at school, following academics. When you're proud of the community that you live in, you have that spirit and you're just like happy to be here in a school that just incorporates like everyone, you know? It's also really important for kids to be at sports events or outside events that don't really get as much support, such as like soccer, basketball, or you know, those like you're there to support your classmates. You know, showing up to games does not mean that it's school spirit. You know, you have to be like watching the game, you know, cheering on your classmates, so like that team that you're there for, and that just makes them also feel proud of being a part of Prosper because they have a community supporting them.
Studies showed that students with school spirit perform better academically, are more socially engaged, and happier in general than their less spirited peers.
I would encourage other students to show school spirit because it personally impacts everyone's high school experience and it brings the community together.
Reporting for Eagle Nation News, I'm Abigail Smith. Prosper.
Now let's send it over to Brenna Gibbons with your Talent Talk update, brought to you by Corbridge Orthodontics.
This past Sunday, the Grammys was held and many different artists attended the event. One artist in specific won several different awards, 4 to be exact. Billie Eilish went home with Song of the Year, Best New Artist, Album of the Year, and Record of the Year for her song Bad Guy. After already receiving the Album of the Year, Billie and her brother returned to the stage to accept her next award, Record of the Year. Her acceptance speech consisted of 2 words, thank you. It has been 39 years since anyone has completed the Big Four sweep, with Christopher Cross being the last to have done so in 1981. It was a big shock to many fans when Eilish won all these awards over Ariana Grande. There was even a video of Billie mouthing, "Please don't be me," before receiving her 4th award of the night. As she went to accept the award, she even mentioned that she wanted Ariana Grande to win the award rather than herself. Tweet us and let us know what you thought about this year's Grammys. That's all the time I have for you today. Back to you guys at the desk.
Maggie Hale now joins us in studio to recap the highly anticipated varsity boys basketball game last night at Jesuit with your Game Time Sports Update.
Last night was the highly anticipated Jesuit rematch game. Our Eagles started the season playing Jesuit and beat them at home. Last night was no different. The game started out shaky with Jesuit taking on an 8-1 lead. They were dominant on the court, even leading up to halftime. After half, a new team came onto the court. While they were still down, the Eagles were fighting back to take the lead. It was down to 2 minutes and tied, but Austin Atkinson made the decision right there that they would walk off with a win. Austin goes up for a dunk over 2 Jesuit defenders and takes the lead. The Eagles took the victory over the Rangers 51-47. Prosper's next game is this Friday at home against McKinney Boyd at 7:30, and the girls play at Boyd at the same time. If you want to hear more sports like this, be sure to tune in every day for your Sports of the Week.
Thank you, Maggie. It's nothing new that college tuition, among other expenses, leaves millions across the U.S. in deep debt. Universities give out scholarships as a way for qualified students to avoid that financial hardship.
With the end of high school and beginning of college rapidly approaching for many seniors, June Brown has more on exactly what scholarships are available.
As high school ends, most people go to college, but college can cost quite a bit if you don't have a full ride. Sometimes it can even be difficult, especially not knowing where to go or even begin on how to lower the cost of college.
Our senior in high school, it's great to start applying for scholarships. Right around this time, we start getting a lot of scholarships that we put on our webpage. It's under the counselor tab, and it's just the scholarship info Google Doc. So it's updated every time I get something in my inbox. I put it on that page, and they're separated by deadlines, and different scholarships have different criteria, so there's something out there for everyone.
Basically, the way that I decided to try and get scholarship money was looking at my college scholarship calculator and seeing what test score and GPA I would need to get a certain amount of money. And then once I realized what ACT score I needed, I kept taking the test until I got the score to get the scholarship. If you have no idea where to start when looking for a scholarship, I would say if you know what university you're going to, look there for scholarship opportunities and a scholarship calculator. And if you just put in Google scholarship opportunities, there's a bunch of different websites that come up that will list a ton of different ways to get scholarships.
My first suggestion is to do your FAFSA and do it as soon as possible. So FAFSA opened back on October 1st, and you want to do that as soon as possible because sometimes colleges even give away money, even if your FAFSA didn't say that your family needs help with college, and it's all dependent on how quickly you fill out your FAFSA. Also, just make sure you do research and apply for your college's scholarships, and just do a lot of research, do a lot of applications, and you're more likely to get something.
Reporting from Eagle Nation News, I'm June Brown, Prosper.
That's all the time we have for you today. For Eagle Nation News, I'm Madison Wells.
And I'm Cameron Silva. Live long and prosper.